Alright guys, it's Gabriel and I'm back with my intro video. This is actually my second attempt. My first attempt didn't go so good. It took too long and I was chatting too much and it just wasted a lot of time. So I'm gonna go ahead and redo it. I'm gonna try and keep this short and sweet, to the point. So I hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe if you can for me, guys. Thanks for watching. Alright guys, I'm from Toronto, so number one, shout out to the Raptors, Raptor Nation. We've been there's a lot of us here that have been fans for a long time, and me personally, I kind of gave up on them after a while, but didn't throw up my jerseys, still have them. They won this year, 2019. Congratulations guys, that's a big win. I'm 28 years old. I work at an Acura dealership as a mechanic. I'm pretty happy to say I work there. I've been there for 4 years. I got my apprenticeship there. It's definitely good news for me, guys. If you're considering school, get it done. It's definitely a good circle to fill in. And if you're already on the ball with something else, I guess stay on it. If you want to advance from there, you got tons of options. Consider them all, guys. And growth is number one for me, so I'm all for that. As for RC trucks now, I got 6 trucks I really want to talk about. I have 3 from Arrma and 3 from Traxxas, and I actually have a co-worker's one he let me do a video on. It's a HPI video. Just a little about him. Here's a shirt that he gave me, T-Dot Exotics. That might be backwards for you guys, but I'll put a link for it. He specializes in reptiles, more specifically the ball pythons. I've seen him work in his own space, guys. If he's really good at what he does. If you have no idea what that is, those are snakes. He'll get you started if you're interested. He has a whole starter kit ready for you. You may be scared since they're snakes. I was a little bit nervous going to check them out myself, but pretty comfortable with them now, just being around him in his own personal space. He's really clean, he's really neat, he's organized, he's really informative, which is really good for rookies, obviously, because you're thinking snakes are dangerous, and they can be, but if you know how to handle them, you'll be alright, and he'll give you all that info. Anyway, too much about that, so I'll put an info for him. I'll put some info down for him. You can definitely ask him about all that stuff, and I'm sure he'll be glad to answer it for you. And yeah, check him out, guys. Just a quick shout out, my personal favorite, just due to when I bought these trucks, I really had one intention with them, and RC Dude 81 will show you exactly what I'm talking about. He brings those ramps to the construction site and he lets those things take flight. He has these 6, 4, and 3S rigs from Arrma that he seems to be customizing up pretty well, and yeah, 100% air flight, and I'm happy with that. Rich Duperbash, he also does pretty much the same thing, 6, 4, and 3S rigs as well, and he's usually at the BMX parks, which actually makes me want to go to one not too far from me. I actually had one googled out. I'm gonna go check that out probably tomorrow, actually, since I'm gonna be staying home. On the Traxxas side of things, I definitely want to recommend, if you already have it, I'm pretty sure you already know about him, but Kevin Talbot, he's definitely a good guy. Don't even know him, but just knowing, just watching him on YouTube, he's definitely an open book. He's an honest guy. He shows you, he does not hide anything from you guys. He also does tons of videos about durability tests and shopping online if you want to consider different trucks and whatnot. He's definitely put a lot of things to the test and show you what's worth buying, what's not, what's worth upgrading, what's not, and you can get a lot of info from him. He's always active. There's also Darkeclipticheart. He does a lot of customization to Traxxas trucks. I got a lot of info from him for my backslash and my 116 trucks, and he's worth checking out for sure. I'm sure if you wanted to grab some ideas from him and throw them on some other trucks, I'm sure it's possible too. Anyone else, even the parents with the 2 or 4-wheel drives for their kids, customizing it up, shout outs to them. Shout outs to anybody that's really got a truck, any hobbyists, anybody really, all of you guys. And thank you for watching. Hope you like and subscribe. Stay tuned, guys. So since you guys seen this in action, I might as well start off with it. This was actually a V2 Creighton When I bought it secondhand. The body was pretty beat up. The mounting spots were done, so the wing was also pretty beat up. So I went and replaced the two of them right away. Went Italian style this time though, and it did come on backflips. I was pretty happy with that. I got a stock system in here, running a 16 tooth pinion from Robinson Racing from when I run in the backflips, and tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and grab a 18 tooth pinion for my guitars I just picked up. We got a Savox 1210 servo in here. This is pretty impressive actually. It's doing a lot better than the stock 15 kilogram from Arrma. We got a Voltage Hobbies servo mount, Voltage Hobbies upper suspension mount, and also the rear one back there. As for the rear front and the two front suspension ones, those are GPM. I've seen a lot of guys running hot racing, seen some other guys running these ones too, and I figured since these are just going to be temporaries for me until I get some hobbies, Voltage Hobbies one, I'm just going to run these cheaper set and hopefully they hold out on me. They are aluminum, so I imagine they'll do fine compared to the plastic anyway. I do imagine I'm going to go ahead and get the Voltage Hobbies for this guy as well on the chassis braces. We got a stock 300 system in there from Tactic, and I got some XT90s on there. I have 500,000 fluid diff in here in the center. I got 50 in the front and 40 in the rear, and I have these shimmed out with some Techno shims and some Kyosho shims. Rich Duper Bash has a video on those. Can't remember the part numbers, but if you wanted to, actually I might try and find them and put them in the description, but that's where I got the idea from. And that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Before I get into the V4 Outcast, I forgot to mention I do have a set of V4 rear shocks from the Outcast or Creighton, and I got these for my Creighton because I kept breaking the rear end, the rear shock shafts and the rod ends just due to really my errors. I didn't have my droop screw set right, and I didn't realize it. It was basically allowing the arm to drop a lot lower than what the shock could actually handle, and in result I was breaking those two pieces there, and got that figured out. So these weren't really needed, but they're definitely an upgrade, and I'm gonna be putting them on tomorrow once I get the shock standoffs from my local hobby store tomorrow, Pinnacle Hobby, and I'll probably make another video with that too. I want to get a video going with this. This is my V4 Outcast, guys. I'm happy with this truck. Pretty stock body. I just did a rear end reinforcement with drywall tape, shoe glue, and the Gorilla Tape. This is a RPM wing mount. I broke that on the first few bashes. Stock system here, stock servo here. This is the optional 18 tooth pinion. I'm probably just going to leave that in there. I might even go one more 19 or 20ish just to really push it and try and get some higher speeds with these guitars. I have Voltage Hobbies again with the servo mounts and the suspension mounts, both the upper front and the rear. And same with the GPM, same parts again. I figured I'll just wait till I get some voltage ones, but those were some temps that I wanted to run, so I went with a hot racing one up here. I found that at Big Boys with Cool Toys. I figured that was worth a buy. I'm probably gonna get the matching one here. I did switch this out just due to me not really being a fan of the whole Spectrum system. I've had two of them before in my two-wheel drive trucks that I used to run, the ECX Ruckus and Torment, and sometimes you would let go of the controller completely and the truck would still be driving and steering and have a mind of its own, so I wasn't going to have that happen with this. I put the Tactic 300 on here, so I'm pretty happy with that. I definitely got the M2C chassis on here. That's a complete win. And actually, that reminds me, I fabbed up this skid plate here from work off a old car piece. It was a skid plate, not a skid plate. It was a, what do you call those? Side skirt. So I went and traced it out with my Outcast chassis and got that done. I did the same for the rear on the Creighton. Actually, I should have shown that. But yeah, same for the diff fluids. I got 500 in the front, 500 center, 50 in the front, 40 in the rear, and I got those shimmed with the same shims. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one, guys. So this granite I haven't really had for too long. It is my second one. I'm not really sure why I sold the first one, and as you can see, I completely regret it, so I went and got an X one. It was the green one at first, and the only difference between the two would be green body, green shocks. I went red body, red shocks. These are some Chinese aftermarket aluminum ones, but they seem to be holding up good. I bought these on eBay. These are part number 81002 and 81003, or they might be vice versa, but they are from HSP. They're pretty cheap, and cheap in price, but they hold up pretty good. Actually, this is the second time running these, and I was pretty happy with the first set. I got a BLX 100 system in here from the 3S BLX models. I put the diff case and the input gear as well, since I snapped the rear one on the first couple of bashes. On the input gear, the BLX system, the BLX trucks have the metal input shaft there inside the plastic, and it beefs it up quite a bit, so I went ahead and did front and rear. That'll be 13 and 37 tooth for the diff case and input gear. 2600 kV motor. This was originally for my 4-cell truck that I had. Same truck actually, just I was running the Hobby Wing speed controller, the Max 10 short course truck edition, and I was running this motor with it on 4-cell. And when I sold it, I actually gave up 3300 kV, and I don't know why I did that. I should have kept the speed controller and let this one run on 4-cell. This is a bit under geared with the 2600 and 17 tooth, so I am either going to switch up the motor to a higher kV, or what I'm most likely going to do is get the Hot Racing adjustable aluminum mount there, and probably beef up a pretty fat pinion on there. Other than that, she's pretty stock. I put 60 in the front and 50 weight in the rear. That seems to be about it for this one. I imagine if I break anything, I'll go with the 3S BLX stuff. I'm probably just gonna consider, for the simple fact of I don't like the crazy toe out on these, so I might just do these rear toe links and get the adjustable ones. But that's it for this one.